And therefore, what was just required, and that's my own experience for the last 6 or 7 months, was just a formula of firing them up for them to unleash their potential and unlock their great talents and innovation. And therefore, I did a few things. I decided not to focus entirely on the hardwares of employees or people. I decided to focus on the soft issues and the software. And it's also very important to appreciate that there is a firing order. There is a firing order of firing up employees. Some CEOs or some leaders, probably once they get into an organization, the first thing to look at is actually to change the vision of the organization. The second thing is to transfer people, demote others, and sometimes when sack others. I decided to take a different route. The first thing was to develop a strategy of how to bring in change, and a change that can motivate and inspire employees to perform. And therefore, I decided to come up with a very, very interesting order of cleanness, order, and discipline. We call it COD. Because human beings naturally resist change. And they resist because it's very natural for a human being. And particularly a change that you don't know where it is taking one. And therefore, what I did was that to start by things which are soft and that people will actually identify with and connect with, and that they do it naturally. One, everyone knows that all of us like being clean, tidy. We like being groomed or looking well groomed. And therefore, what I did was just to create cleanness, order, and discipline. It was very deliberate. The focus of my intention was indeed to focus on attitude, mindset, and culture. But changing the mindset and culture of a people in an organization is the most difficult thing for any strategic manager or any leader. But it has to be done. You can have the best educated employees. You can have the most experienced employees. You can even have the most motivated employees. But dealing with their culture, it was actually a nightmare. And therefore, we needed first to have an order. And therefore, cleanness, order, and discipline. And this cleanness goes simply even to their homes. Talk about their homes. How do they clean their sitting room, their bedroom? And bring it to their office environment. How clean are their offices? How clean are their telephone sets? How orderly is the office? Because we have experiences whereby some offices, you have to walk into the office, jump a waste paper basket, then go behind a photocopying machine, then go until it takes you 1 minute actually to voyage to your seat. And this actually causes, creates a situation which is not very acceptable. Then discipline. A culture of discipline has to exist. And simply put is keeping time. It is after cleanness, order, and discipline. And if you walk to Kenyatta National Hospital today, you have seen, you could actually see our gardens are clean. Our wards are very clean. Our pavements are clean. You go to offices, things have changed. And through the Gemba Kaizen philosophy, which is continuous improvement. And by doing this, we are already attacking the mindset of the employees.
So that's about me, but we're going to get into, some of you wonder, so what do you do as CEO of EABL? I will just rush through this. I think the key thing for me is that I'm responsible for really shaping the destiny of East African Breweries Limited. In other words, I do that with my team. I've got to set the direction. They've got to align to that. We've got to pull in the same direction and make things happen. At EABL, we are absolutely committed to delivering superior total shareholder returns in whatever way we measure it. In fact, we want to be the most celebrated, the most admired, the most loved company in East Africa. And by extension, I've been saying to the guys, actually, why not call the universe, Africa as a whole. So it's about strategic direction. It's about identifying and growing quality talent. I go out, I have a database of some really smart people, some of them from within your institute here. If I call some of the names that I have, you'll be surprised. I sit with my HR director every time, most often on Fridays, and I'm talking about, so who else do you know in sales, in marketing, in supply, in finance, in corporate relations, in HR, that's out there that I can talk to? And I've met quite a number of senior leaders, and I know I'm still going to meet many of you, but it's so important for us to identify and grow new talent for EAPL. I've said to people, there are 3 ways you can grow talent and capability in an organization. I say to the EAPL team, I call the 3 Bs. You buy, you build, or you borrow. You buy, you build, or you borrow. So that person you poach as marketing director already made, you buy him from whatever company he's working to bring into EAPL as marketing director. You buy him, always expensive. You've got to pay a premium to start with, okay? You've got to try to put all sorts of perks on the table, okay? That's buying. Borrowing, you bring IAs in, experts, they come in for 3 years. Also very expensive. By far the most efficient and satisfying one is really about building. So building is when you grow the pipeline from when people come in either as, I don't know, management trainees, whatever it is, and they grow in their careers to be even CEO of companies like EAPL, Unilever, through building. That is just incredibly amazing. And that's the space where I am located to ensure that as much as possible, senior leaders of EAPL in the future are people that we have built within the organization. Finally, obviously I'm responsible for managing external relationships and all of that. So in terms of talking about, what a high-performance organization would look like in the way that I define it myself and how I try to shape it in EAPL, the first thing is that I want everybody focused on the consumer. So we have to be frontline centric. And what that means for me is that, if you put the organization at a split of over a base of 100, 70% of them should be customer interfacing. So people in marketing, in sales, and all of that should form the majority of that. So to the extent that you can, really, contract out, back office operations and focus the energy of the organization in driving the things that directly impact on the top and bottom lines. That's where you want to be. So that's very important for me. I try every day to set up EAPL such that we are more consumer interfacing than being bogged down by internal processes and complexities and challenges about who has hierarchical power for what. I try to make sure that we eliminate that. The other thing that is very big for us is in terms of attracting and retaining quality talent. And I've said to people, and I said that in the management interview, when we're talking about assets. So between the Unilevers and the Coke and Diageo that I work for, Diageo is part of EAPL. 3 of them have talked about their biggest assets in different ways, and I won't tell you which is which. But there's one of those companies that says our biggest asset is our brands. Okay? There's one of those 3 as well that says our biggest asset is our reputation, that is the reputation of the company. There's a 3rd one that says actually our biggest asset is our people. Okay? Now, I won't disclose who says what, but what I do know is that I've got no doubt in my mind that by far the biggest asset any company can boast about is their people. Because like I said in the interview, ultimately, brands and reputation are managed by people. So have the best brands, have the best reputation. You have the wrong people, they damage the brands and reputation anyway.